New day, new discovery in space. Are we surprised though? Not really. The void has been a house to so many special bodies. But one of those bodies that have been the talk of the town since the dinosaurs were wiped out is called asteroids. Let's talk about Asteroid Armageddon, which reportedly will be hitting Earth. But the world's first ever plan to avoid it was released, and here's what we know about it. First things first, what's the world doing to avoid the unstoppable asteroid? That's one gigantic rock, one significant change in how we view space, and might also have changed our relationship with space quite a bit. In an effort to change an asteroid's orbit, NASA will launch a mission on Wednesday. This will be the first time that humans have attempted to modify the gravitational dance of the solar system. Small particles of debris are continuously being thrown toward our planet, but most of them are incinerated or broken up before they reach the ground. But occasionally, something big enough to cause real harm strikes the ground. One such collision is estimated to have put an end to the dinosaur era, around 66 million years ago. It is thought to have produced enormous volumes of dust and other debris to be ejected into the upper atmosphere, which obscured the sun and led to the collapse of food chains. If we can't discover a method to avoid it, something comparable might one day put an end to Earth. The mission is to test a planetary defense system that could keep mankind from becoming extinct, giving us the first accurate information about what it would take to divert an asteroid away from Earth. Action films, science fiction thrillers, and at least one actual mass extinction event, the unstoppable asteroid headed for Earth, have all dealt with it. However, NASA will conduct the world's first real-life test in a few weeks to see if the planet can be protected against that particular scenario. No need to start constructing a bunker. The asteroid NASA is monitoring won't collide with us, but it will give the space agency the chance to test its Double Asteroid Redirection Test, DART project. Moving on, what is DART? The Double Asteroid Redirection Test, DART, mission from NASA is the first attempt to see if such asteroid deflection is a feasible strategy. It will examine whether a spacecraft can navigate to a target asteroid on its own and purposefully collide with it while also measuring the amount of deflection. According to the NASA website, it's the world's first full-scale mission to test technology for defending Earth against potential asteroids or comet hazards, targeting a known asteroid that does not pose a threat to Earth. The spacecraft was launched on a SpaceX rocket in November of last year. DART will collide with Didymos's asteroid moonlet Dimorphos on September 26th. This is the first test of the kinetic impact technique, which uses a spacecraft to deflect an asteroid for planetary defense. Even though the asteroid is not a threat to Earth, they're using it for experimentation. DART deliberately impacts dimorphism in order to slightly alter its motion through space and see if it's capable of diverting its path for our own advantage. Following up, how will it work? The Didymos asteroid system, which consists of two asteroids, is where DART is currently traveling. One orbits the bigger Didymos, a moon with a diameter of 160 meters called Dimorphos. Both are a tiny bit smaller than the asteroid's estimated 96-kilometer diameter that would be required, according to scientists, to completely destroy all life on Earth. The target of DART is Dimorphos. The satellite will find the smaller asteroid and deliberately collide with it. The Italian Space Agency will launch a CubeSat before the collision to take pictures of the impact and debris. The European Space Agency will also conduct thorough surveys of both asteroids in about 4 years, paying particular attention to the crater left by the DART collision and precisely calculating Dimorphos's mass. The intention is to modify the asteroid's motion just enough to allow for precise measurement with ground-based telescopes. The only scientific component of DART is a high-resolution camera called Draco that also serves as a navigational aid. It is modeled after a camera similar to that found on NASA's New Horizons spacecraft. DART will launch an Italian Space Agency-built CubeSat 5 days before arrival to record the impact. The main spacecraft will enter an autonomous navigation mode 4 hours before impact because it will be too far for flight controllers to control in real time. The spacecraft's computer will use images from Draco to distinguish between Didymos and Dimorphos and steer toward the latter. Then it's over. DART will collide with Dimorphos. Dimorphos's orbital period should shift from 11.9 to 11.8 hours as a result of the impact, a difference of only 4.2 minutes. As a result, Didymos and Dimorphos will get a little bit closer. Next up, how much does it cost? Space missions aren't cheap. If they were, then we would probably already be on Mars. The DART project has a $324.5 million price tag. Spacecraft development development cost $308 million, launch services cost $68.8 million, and operations and data analysis are expected to cost $16.5 million. After all, DART's turning science fiction into reality. We've only ever seen stuff like this in movies, superpowers and all. But apparently not being born with superpowers costs you about $68.8 million to save the human race. Let's learn more about when this will happen. The most recent update from NASA dates September 26th. DART will be moving at a swift 6 kilometers per second, or 21,600 kilometers per hour. Scientists predict that Dimorphos's orbit around Didymos will be shortened by several minutes as a result of the kinetic impact. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson stated that DART is converting science fiction into science fact and is a testament to NASA's proactivity and innovation for the benefit of all. In addition to all the ways NASA studies our home planet and the universe, they're also working to protect it. This test will help establish one practical method of defending our planet from a dangerous asteroid, should one be found that is headed toward Earth in the future. Moving on, what will happen after the launch? Of course, the DART team won't be sitting and fidgeting until the major collision. Every space mission has a ton of milestones, which often happen quickly in the first several weeks following the launch. For instance, the mission team for DART is currently inspecting the spacecraft's many systems and its primary scientific instrument, a camera known as Draco, during the spacecraft's 30-day commissioning period. And if everything goes according to plan, Draco will shortly open its eyes. At a pre-launch press briefing, Elena Adams, a DART mission systems engineer, stated that they're going to open the Draco doors and snap their first photographs around 8 days in. Following that, the DART team will ignite the evolutionary xenon thruster commercial Next-C engine, which was created by NASA's Glenn Research Center and the aerospace firm Aerojet Rocketdyne around 20 days into the journey, Adams said. A solar-powered Icon propulsion technology called Next-C might be used on the next spacecraft. Next-C will undergo a significant in-space test throughout the trip, even though it's not DART's primary propulsion system. The probe is employing a set of 12 hydrazine thrusters to move and reach the Didymos-Dimorphos pair. Long after this, Didymos and Dimorphos will still be observed, and not just from a distance. In a few years, the European Space Agency intends to dispatch a spacecraft called Hera to the Didymos system to examine the damage DART caused up close, obtaining information about Dimorphos' exact mass, makeup, and interior structure, as well as the size and shape of the crater that DART left behind. Such information is essential for developing asteroid deflection into a scalable and repeatable technology that may be used if an end-of-the-world asteroid were ever discovered hurtling toward Earth. Lastly, is it really NASA's job to protect us? No, not really. According to NASA, a major asteroid impacting Earth is a once-in-a-millennium type event, but the space agency is also finding thousands of previously undiscovered near-Earth objects every year, with trajectories that will someday bring them into our galactic neighborhood using new telescopes and other stargazing techniques. More than 27,000 have been found so far, and more than 2,700 have been found just this year. Among them is one the size of the Pyramid of Giza, which was found in September and flew by Earth at a distance of only 2 million miles. However, no organization or international organization is in charge of deflecting an asteroid that may be headed in the direction of catastrophe, whether by nudging it just a little bit off track to shift its orbit or launching a barrage of missiles at it. So really, we either help NASA and SpaceX somehow, or we can just sit behind our screens and watch videos that tell us about what they're doing now to protect us from things we can't even see. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think this mission will be successful? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.